Welcome to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I review movies. My goal here is to give you the scoop on movies, kind of a heads up so that you can make the best decision as to whether or not you want to spend your time and money watching a particular film. So I hope you like what you see. I hope you stay and I hope you subscribe. So the movie I'm reviewing today is called Pieces of a Woman. It is available today on Netflix. So here's the scoop. First of all, it's rated R. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes long. And the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B+. So I'm going to explain why, and I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell and point out things I liked and didn't like, as well as offer some recommendations, tips for parents, and themes worth talking about. Okay, so first, in a nutshell, this heartbreaking movie shines a very painful spotlight on childbirth and what happens when something goes wrong. The film is written by Kata Weber and directed by her life partner, Cornel Mandrusko. This is the English language directorial debut of the Hungarian director. So that's pretty cool, and he's off to a great start. So here's a heads up. If you have recently had a miscarriage or lost a baby, it might be too soon and too painful to watch this emotionally draining film. I had several miscarriages many years ago, and it still hurt my heart to watch this movie. However, I do recommend it. Let me give you tips for parents. The movie is rated R, so it's really not intended for children. There is profanity and F-bombs. Kids will basically be bored and really not relate to the subject matter at all. You see a woman in labor with her big belly. You see her in a bathtub. You don't see private body parts, just some skin, and you see, basically a big belly. There are drugs, alcohol, and smoking illustrated, and infidelity insinuated. So, some themes of the movie are absolutely grief and loss, PTSD, post traumatic stress syndrome. And we tend to think of that phrase as relating really to the military, but it's really any traumatic experience that causes aftershocks of a variety of behaviors and mindset. Other themes are motherhood, of course, supporting others who are going through grief and struggling in a variety of ways, sensitivity to what other people go through and how we all actually react differently to moments of trauma and hardship, physical and emotional healing, judging others, tough love versus compassion, marriage and infidelity, justice and mercy, and how we live in such a litigious society, midwives, home birth versus hospital delivery, forgiveness, and family. So there are a lot of really important themes and issues that are addressed in the movie. And I think that they're actually presented and handled very, very well. So here are some other things that I really liked about the movie. First of all, Vanessa Kirby is absolutely fantastic in this movie. Her emotional performance is already earning Oscar buzz and being described as career defining. She is fantastic. Shia LaBeouf is also in the movie, and I know that he's had his ups and downs with his personal life, but he is one of the best young actors out there, I think, in the industry today. And I am such a fan. He's excellent as well, really. Ellen Bernstein's scorching performance is so powerful that you're going to want to scream. She's really good. And I just wanted to smack Sarah Snook's character for so many things. You're going to have kind of a visceral reaction to some of these characters and how they behave. Who knew so much burping was involved in childbirth? The movie just dives right into a woman who is starting labor and what childbirth is all about, and doesn't even show the title card until 30 minutes into the movie. It's one of the most intense opening scenes of a movie like this that I think I've ever seen. Speaking of that title card, the title of the movie, I think, is very clever on several levels. An empty crib is one of the saddest things to see. And this movie is very subtle, but very powerful in the images that it shows. I was actually surprised to see the comedian Eliza Schlesinger in the film because I've never seen her act in a dramatic role before. So good for her. She's in a future film. I adore uncut shots that look like it's just one take. And there were many of them in this movie. I loved the movie 1917 partially because of the content matter. My husband's grandfather served in World War I, and we have his handwritten journals of it. So I was super interested in the topic. But the movie is actually designed to look like the entire movie is in one shot. Technically, it's not, but it still looks like it. Anyway, I was really impressed that there were so many of those types of shots in this movie, and they're done really, really well. So it's not a spoiler alert to let you know that Martha, played by Vanessa Kirby, has a miscarriage. And I really loved the detail of how she tried to grow seeds after her loss. It may seem like a very cliched symbol, the seed that she was trying to bring forth into the world and all of that, but it's actually exactly how a woman feels after losing a baby because of the intense desire to nurture something. After my second miscarriage, I adopted not one kitten, but two. And I'm so grateful for a loving, supportive, and very patient husband who went along with it while my heart was recovering. It also might be a stretch, but I saw symbolism of Eve and the apple that's in the movie as a woman's natural desire to have children, to create life. In a 2006 study by the Compassionate Friends Institute, parental divorce was found to be around 16% following the death of a child. And I was actually surprised. I thought that can't be right. It's got to be much higher. And in fact, it is shown. There was another study that showed divorce rates as high as 40% after a stillbirth. So I loved that the movie showed us how the couple's loss affected their marriage, but particularly how the father's loss was illustrated in the movie. It's not just the mother that goes through that physical and emotional loss. Now, there were some things that I didn't like in the movie. First of all, sections of the movie were given dates on the screen, and other than helping us to see generally the passage of time, I kept wondering if it meant something more significant. What I did think was interesting was the position of the bridge in the image and what that might mean as the story progressed from open to closed to halfway. And maybe it's a coincidence, but I just was looking for some more meaning in the element of that movie. There really isn't any humor. It is pure drama and just constant sadness. The first 30 minutes of the movie have an intensity and energy that the rest of the film simply couldn't match. I mean, it was intense. And then the rest of the movie, there's lots of talking and sadness. And so it's a little bit of a letdown. Now, it's hard to match that intensity from the beginning, but I kept thinking some more things were going to happen that were equally as dramatic. And they're just not as intense. Really, that's all. I thought that the movie was very mesmerizing. And because I personally experienced miscarriage. Now, every time I watch a movie, I always write down funny lines or interesting lines or really insightful lines that I want to share with you. And as I said, there weren't really any funny lines worth mentioning, but I'll share a couple of these lines with you here. Although if you want to see them all, you can go over to my website called moviereviewmom.com. So one is a character named Chris, played by Benny Safdie, who says, "Time heals all wounds." And that's easy to say, but when you're still in the freshness of some horrible experience, it takes a lot of time to heal from that wound. And even still, I can tell you a lot of details about the miscarriages that I had and the pain that I still feel. It's lessened significantly. And I've had children before and after those miscarriages, and that absolutely heals a lot of the wounds and the sadness in my soul of those missed children that I wasn't able to have. Now, another really great line is spoken by Martha, again played by Vanessa Kirby. And she says, if I'm asking for compensation or money, then I'm saying that I can be compensated, but I can't. And I think that was a really powerful line. And I won't give you any more spoilers about that. But overall, I thought that the movie was really powerful. So before I end, let me give you a recommendation for another movie that I think that you might also enjoy if you like this one. And it hasn't come out yet. It's coming out on January 27th, and it's called Penguin Bloom. It's also one that will definitely touch a mother's heart. It's very inspiring and uplifting. One thing I really love about movies is that it provides an escape from reality. So if you're currently struggling or suffering from any kind of traumatic experience, a movie can take you away, give you a little bit of a reprieve. And that's important. But equally important is that movies can often allow you to reflect on how you're experiencing certain things in your life and to maybe look at it from a different perspective or to gain motivation or courage or hope from a movie. I love movies and their ability to do all of those things for us. All right, that's it for my movie review today. I will catch you in the next one. Until then, bye for now.